Hello, and welcome to Here We Are, the mindful podcast for millennials, where it's all about remembering where we've been, knowing where we're going, and taking up space in the present through the art of storytelling. I'm your host, Teka, and I'll tie together the practice of presence and life lessons with faith and mental health nuggets too. Whether sharing my own experiences or featuring a special guest, I hope to inspire you to take control of your story and take control of your life. I hope you receive what you need from today's episode. And remember to check out the show notes in the description for links that I reference. Ready? Let's journey. All for watching and listening. I really appreciate the support. Here We Are, the podcast for millennials. It's definitely focused on storytelling. And today I have a very special guest here. Me mama. No, I'm playing my mom.
Yes, mom.
She is here to join me finally on the podcast. She was strong-armed into joining me for this episode of the podcast. And I really want to talk to her about her journey through motherhood. If you haven't caught the theme already, this month is focused on motherhood and mental health. And I'm really excited to hear my mom's story. I feel like I know majority of her life story, but I'm sure there are things that have been left out or things that I don't know or details or questions that I just haven't been able to ask. And so that's what today's episode is going to be about. So first, do you want to introduce yourself? Because I call you mommy, but that's not her government.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Donna from Jamaica, Manchester, Jamaica. And of course, you know my daughter, the podcaster, Teka. So welcome.
Thank you. So, yes, you all, if you haven't caught on by now, I'm not sure. I don't hear it. A lot of people say that my mom has an accent. I don't hear it. But yes, she is from Jamaica. Both my mom and biological father are born and bred on Yard. So we are going to talk about
Manchester, Jamaica.
Manchester, Mandeville, Jamaica. It's very country. It's not a resort. It's in the mountains.
Beautiful.
So journey to get to the beach would take like y'all how long? Like 3 hours, 4 hours?
Well, we have some beach closer, but the main beach like Montego Bay to the touristy areas, Ocho Rios, it'll be about 4 hours. For me, it would be 4 hours of car sickness when I was a child. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So definitely a interesting journey. Of course, coming to the States. My mom, to my knowledge, came to the States when she was 13. And so she attended high school here in the States, which apparently the States were behind with their education. When she got here, she was far more advanced, but had to take some classes and became a freshman at Woodrow Wilson High School. Is that the first high school you went to?
Paul Junior High in Washington, D.C. Was my first. That was middle school. I was in 7th grade when I went to Paul.
Oh.
And then high school was Woodrow Wilson High School in Bethesda, Maryland. Yeah. Yeah.
So we're not going to go back that far in her story, but I do want to start off by asking about life before you became a mother. Like right before. When you had me, you were 25, which I could not imagine being a mother at 25. At 25, I could barely take care of my dog, let alone myself or another human. But my mom had me when she was 25. But I want to go back a couple years. What was life like before you became a mother?
Before I became a mother? Wow. Life was... I was just doing life, which was natural for me. It was church, working, hanging out with my very bestie friend, Brenda Hales, running around in Georgetown Park before it was all built up, and on Wisconsin Avenue, we would go to the park and just have fun hanging out with my mom and grandmother. I was an old soul. So I like just hanging with my grandmother, riding the bus through DC with her when we go on the grocery stores, the bank, hanging with my mom in the kitchen. That's what life was for me. And I wasn't as outgoing like you are today. I'm like, wow, doing a lot of things, enjoying yourself. That was not me, I guess. I was a workaholic, I think.
Okay, so that's where I get it from.
Yeah. Always finding stuff to do. I think when we were growing up, our parents, we had to do chores and they didn't allow us to idle a lot. We did get to play after we do our chores, but it seemed like they always found something for us to do. After you finish one chore, they always found something for you. You you didn't have any idle time. So yeah, I wasn't as adventurous as you are today, and that's a good thing. Different generations.
I was just about to say,
enjoyed life.
It was a different time back then. You were a different generation. You were raised in a very religious household, I would say, like having to wear skirts, and when you go to church, your head has to be covered with a hat. You can't wear earrings. You can't get your nails done. Red lipstick means you were Jezebel. Like, don't go to the movies. Can't listen to secular music. Like, very strict. And so, of course, after experiencing that kind of upbringing, how did you come into meeting my dad and then becoming a mom? Like, do you remember that journey? And you don't have to go through every single step, but just that.
We knew each other from childhood. So that's how that came about.
Okay.
We knew each other from childhood.
Okay.
Yeah, went to the same church. I left Jamaica for some years, and then we reconnected when he came to the States. And
how old were you?
I was a senior in college, so I was about 20.
Okay.
1920 when we were reconnected. Yeah.
Okay. Did you know that you wanted to have kids with him or be a mom?
It wasn't a thought, like how you now the youngins talk about kids, what you want your life to be like. It wasn't like that. I think it was like something you did as you grow up. You get married.
Progression.
Yeah, you get married and you have some kids. It wasn't something that we thought about or dream about. Of course, you want to get married, fall in love, get married. So I thought. Yeah. And so it wasn't a discussion. I don't think I discussed I want to have kids.
Okay.
It was just something that happened.
Yeah.
Well, not really, because I think I was first couple of years after marriage, I was on birth control and I stopped. So yeah, it was some thought.
So it was planned.
Yeah.
It was planned. Okay. Do you miss anything from being single or childless?
No, because I didn't do a lot. Yeah. Like you are now, busy all the time, have to get on your schedule. I didn't have that.
The calendar.
Yeah. Okay. Even now, I have to get on her calendar. What? I'm your mama.
Listen, no, I'll make time. Okay. So
yeah, you do make time.
You mentioned kind of, you said like, back then it was just natural progression. You fall in love, get married, they fell out of love, and my mom became a single mom, which is not uncommon, right? I think a lot of people can relate that, in the Black community, single parenting, whether it's mom, grandma, dad, uncle, somebody is taking on the role of caregiving, either by themselves or with a village. And so when it comes to your journey, well, I'm sure it was an adventure as a single mom. What was that like? Like, what were the challenges?
There are so many challenges because I did not think I would be a single mom. My mom became a single mom of 7. So I watched that growing up. And so I didn't think that would happen to me. So lots of challenges. While I had my grandmother, my mom, and I had some very good neighbors who were there to support me, it was exhausting. I think I was doing it by having adrenaline going because I just did it because I had to. But thinking back, I was exhausted because now that I'm a single mom, I had to work to support us to keep a roof over our heads. For a long time, I didn't have the support of your biological father. I had to do it for a long time on my own. So the finance were challenging. There were times when I was robbing Peter to pay Paul to make ends meet. You had daycare that I had to put you in so that I could go to work, so we could live a life.
Say live and eat.
Yeah. The physical part, the mental part was a lot of challenging. I just did it because I had to. You were a good baby, so
you're welcome. No,
yeah, you were good. There were a lot of times I got home from work and I remember after taking care of you, making sure you were okay, you were safe. We were there watching TV, watching Barney. I would wake up and you were still there playing with the pots and pans, and occasionally you would get into the toilet paper, have it wrapped all around you, and it was funny. But being a single mom, it was hard.
Yeah,
it was hard.
You mentioned like mental challenges. Do you remember like how? Because back then, depression, anxiety, I don't know, that wasn't something that you talked about on an everyday basis. It wasn't as common as it is now. But would you say that you experienced that back then? Like you said, you were running on adrenaline, but that's probably also stress and other things. Like, how do you remember your mental health being as a single mom?
We didn't talk about it. I didn't even know the terms mental health. Who talked about that? It was how I coped was a lot of prayer, talking to my mom, talking to my grandmother. That's how I coped. So mental health was not something that we talked about. It wasn't even heard of. At least I didn't hear about it then. So it wasn't something I thought about, my mental health. I just go with the flow.
Yeah. Because you had to. So
I'm sure I had periods where I did have some depression, some anxiety, but I didn't know what to call it.
Right.
I didn't know what it was called.
You were just sad.
Sad. Yeah.
Or I don't know. Were you grieving, crying? Were you mad?
All of the above.
Because sometimes you can be upset. Like, why I got to be the one to be a single mom? Like, why was this my path, my journey, my portion? You know? Were you ever mad?
Of course.
Yeah.
Upset, crying, asking God why.
Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned prayer, you mentioned talking to Nana and Grandma. Like, how did you overcome the challenges of single motherhood? Like, what helped you? Or who helped you?
Well, your grandmother, my mom, and then my great grandmother, because you spend a lot of time with my grandmother, your nana. You spend a lot of times. I would drive from Manassas over the Legion Bridge through Silver Spring, right there on the edge of Silver Spring in DC, to drop you off at Nana or Grandma's house, only to turn around and go back to work at Fairfax Hospital. So either day shift or night shift, I had to do it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the challenging of driving across town to take you there, because I want to make sure that you were safe. You were somebody that was safe. I didn't have to worry about you being potted, fed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew you were taken care of. And if I needed to just go home after work and sleep at my house without you there, I know you were safe. And if I wanted to come and get you from grandma or nana and take you home, so on my days off, I could do that. So thank God for them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I also had some great neighbors that would watch you when I couldn't go across town. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So God was faithful in me being a single parent. He always made a way to have someone that I could depend on to watch you, Yeah.
I remember specifically spending nights at Nana's house.
Mm-hmm. My grandmother.
Your grandmother. Mm-hmm. My great grandmother. I remember spending nights at her house. Yeah. And watching like Morris Cerullo and the stories, watching As the World Turns and what else? Young and the Restless.
You were watching that.
This is right. Like anyone who's raised around like their grandparents, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Like at age 7, you knew the plot to these soap operas. Like you were a child. I wasn't even 7. I was probably like 4. And I knew what was going on The Young and the Restless. But I remember that. And then I remember our neighbors in Manassas. That house, I have a lot of fond memories in that neighborhood. But I remember specifically like maybe like 4 neighbors that probably either were helpful, watched me, or just we were close to.
Stephanie, Bratton.
So the Brattons,
Mary and Brian
right across the street, and then one of the Jenkins sisters, lived down there.
Karen Jenkins. Karen Jenkins.
It was Karen, and then I don't know when she moved in, but remember the Barbers, Charmaine.
Oh, yeah.
I remember going over their house a lot, too.
Yeah, you were her age, Charmaine's age, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, anyway.
Reminiscing. Great neighbors.
Yeah. So that's one thing as a single mom, or if you're listening and you're experiencing single parenthood at some point, having a village, having neighbors, having family, having a space like daycare to take your kids to is so important. You know, like you said, you had to work night shift, day shift, like work as much as you could so that you can make sure that I could go to daycare or so that I could eat. And I was too young to even like realize it, but I don't think I realized that you were working as much as you were or that things were as hard as they were. I don't think you let that be known. Not from what I can recall.
I did what I had to do. I would work 2 jobs. Yeah, full-time job and then per diem across town, Sibley, whatever I had to do. But thank God that I had my mom. You were safe. I could drop you off there. They watch you and so forth. So I was blessed. Yeah.
But you weren't a single mom for long. Well, 7 years. Yeah. 7 years. And then you got remarried. And so when you got remarried, you gained 3 stepchildren.
Bonus. And we call them bonus
children. You gained 3 bonus children. But you were my age, basically. You were 32. I'm 33 now.
Oh, my goodness.
First of all, so I have my best friend is a bonus mom. And I still can't fathom being a bonus mom. I'm like... So what was that like for you at age 32, which to me is still young because I'm still a child of God. So what was that like becoming a bonus mom that young? Or not even that young, but just at that stage in your life?
Oh my gosh. I was in love, girl.
Oh my gosh.
I was in love. And so
I'm sure. You said you got 50 kids. That's fine.
I was in love with this man. So I wasn't even thinking about, oh my God, what is it going to be like to be a blended family and have 3 additional bonus kids. They were within your age range. So I didn't give it did I even think about what it was going to be like? No.
Probably not.
Probably not, because I was in love.
Head over heels.
Head over heels in love. And these beautiful children.
She said, look at this Samuel Jackson looking man.
And he loved his children. He was such a great dad. And I was like, oh my goodness. This is going to be a piece of cake, probably. Everything is just going to be hunky-dory.
And then what happened?
The process of being a blended family happened. I was like, oh my goodness. Just from the perspective of the children having to deal with someone that's not their biological mom, seeing me as taking their mom's place, which, and then trying to discipline them. And, should they call me mom or should they call me Donna? What should they call me? What do I want them to call me? And it was the process of being a blended family, because I didn't have a rule book or a playbook. And back then when I was doing this, I didn't have all the resources that are available. I don't think we had YouTube then, or Instagram,
or computers.
Or did we have computers?
Yeah, you did in the 90s. But it wasn't like, oh, I can Google how to be in a blended family.
Right.
It was like, I don't know.
I didn't even have a phone. I think I had a phone, those big battery phones you wear in the shoulder anyway. But I didn't have a playbook of how to be a blended family like I have now. I can listen to podcasts. And so I made a lot of mistakes. We did. Blending together, not making space for you to talk about how you feel about it. So I think there was some trauma for you as well as the other, my bonus children too. It was a lot of mistakes. They were not detrimental, probably what you call it, trauma, childhood trauma. I'm sure that you probably, I know you did therapy, and hopefully I probably needed some therapy, or still do.
I feel like I remember us trying to go to family therapy maybe like once or twice. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Was it?
We did.
Once? Did we go multiple times, or did I black it out?
No, I don't. We did multiple times, but it probably was a few sessions.
Okay. I only remember one session.
Yeah.
So you all did, even though you made mistakes, you all did, once you realized what resources were available, you did start to implement them,
Yeah.
But like you said, you realized back then, because in that day and time, they didn't even really endorse remarriage in the church at that time.
Oh my goodness.
Because it was
that's a whole story.
I know, that's a whole nother podcast episode. Because it was like, once you're married, you are married to that person for life, no matter if you divorce them or not.
Right.
So remarrying is considered like adultery, basically.
Right.
They didn't endorse it or like condone it. So it probably wasn't heard of for any other blended families to be in your community.
True that.
Unless someone happened to be maybe at work or in the neighborhood, but definitely not in the church community, which is your main community.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all didn't have the rules or the blueprint. And so I think now as an adult, I can definitely see that with a lens of grace. I think also because I'm watching my best friend Monique go through it.
Mm-hmm.
And she became a bonus mom at 30 officially, but they were together, 5 years before? I can't do the math, Monique, you do it. But watching her do it, I think that also kind of gave me a little bit of insight as to like what it looks like as a peer watching someone in a blended family, And so if there was anything you could do differently, what would it be?
If it was today, I would, if I met the person and I wanted to do life with that person, I would do some kind of therapy before. to say, is this is what's gonna be expected. Not clear cut, but I would
just some tools.
Yeah, some tools. The reality of it is this is how it's gonna look, maybe with some ebbs and flow. So then I could go into it knowing what to expect, some of the things to expect. Another thing I would change is the way that I would go about doing life with the bonus children. I was the disciplinarian when I came into this blended family, and it kind of, no, it didn't make some problems, because I was seen mostly as the bad guy, because, I wasn't their mom, and I was trying to be their mom, and from their perspective, I was not their mom, and I was trying to be their mom, because I didn't know to say, I'm not trying to replace your mom. I'm just trying to, like I was trying to discipline you, raise you, parent you. I was trying to do the same thing with them, but it was not received that way.
Right.
Yeah. And so I would change that and allow my husband, the biological dad, to do the disciplining of the children. So then I wouldn't look like the bad guy all the time.
As they're already trying to adjust.
They were also trying to adjust
to you.
Yeah.
You know what I think also makes it challenging? Because I think of it from like my perspective. I remember one time we were riding in the car, and I had asked Dad, I was like, so when can I call you Dad? Or I asked him like when or how or what should I call him? I was like desperate for a father figure. I was looking for a dad. But I think that's because my biological dad was not in the picture at all. As for my step siblings, their mom was still in the picture, whether it was full time or intermittently. And so I think that probably also played a part in them having so much like resistance to you, because their mom was still around. So it's like, well, who is this? I already got a mom, even if their mom wasn't.
Or maybe they were thinking their mom would feel
jealous or
bad if they call me mom. She's not your mom.
Yeah, they were trying to be loyal to her.
Yes, yeah.
And their loyalty as kids came out as, I don't know, it came out as like hostile. That's the word that came to mind. Almost kind of like like loyalty to a fault, like where you're willing to do whatever it takes to prove your loyalty to someone,
right?
And kids don't have the emotional intelligence to know, like, you can have two mother figures in your life and still love them or love your biological mom,
but they also
without anything taken away from her.
Yeah, but they probably also needed us as adults to say that,
right?
It's okay. You have space
for everybody.
Yeah. And I didn't know to say that, because like I said, I didn't have the resources, the tools to say that. It's you know what? It's years when computers and radio, I used to listen to the radio. It was focused on the family and family life. And I would listen to the speakers, and they began to talk about blended family. And so that's how I learned some of the tools. And my husband and I started going to conferences purposely and learning how to be a blended family. Of course, by that time we had made some mistakes, but never too late to start. To learn. Now that do better. Yeah. So we started doing better. So I just, yeah.
You did what you could with what you had.
I did the best with what I had. And now that I know better, I do better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like you've given yourself that grace to say, like, I did the best I could with what I had at that time? Even if I made mistakes. Because I hear you saying it even now. You're like, we just made some mistakes. We made so many mistakes. And it's like, yeah. But you also were doing the best you could with what you had. Like, do you ever give yourself that that grace or that credit?
I do.
Okay.
And it was, I don't know if you remember, we were on the deck one year. Mm-hmm. All the bonus kids, you, Dad.
I remember.
And we talked about it. We were talking about it a little bit. We didn't go into details. And we talked about, oh yeah, if we could do it over again. Mm-hmm. So I after that, I began to give myself grace. Mm-hmm. That I did the best I could, and yeah.
That was like 2021, maybe 2022.
Yeah, around
after COVID. Ago. Yeah. It was like after or like right at the tail end of COVID. Mm-hmm. I remember. Yeah. Okay. So speaking of like that, now we're all grown. Mm-hmm. Like I'm the youngest and I'm in my 30s. So of course everyone is in their 30s now. Almost mm-hmm. The oldest is almost to 40. Mm-hmm. Having adult children, having an empty nest, like what is that like now? We are out here on our own.
I'm so grateful that y'all on your own, doing life on your own, taking care of yourself. You're doing it, though.
I'm doing it.
You're doing it. Thank you, the Lord. You're doing a great job. And all of you all are doing a great job. Yeah. I love it.
You like having adult children?
I do. Because I don't have to take care of y'all.
I feel like, well, you're right.
I don't have to die for you.
Yeah, I don't have to take care of you.
I don't have to feed you if I don't want to.
Yes, you do.
If I cook, you can come over, but I don't have to go to the grocery store and say I have to have food.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you can have all the salmon and salad you want.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm always going to be a mom. Whether you're 30 or 40, I'm always going to be a mom. Mm-hmm. I'm learning how to give advice when you ask for it. I'm not good at that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unsolicited.
Yes, unsolicited
advice and opinions. But that's okay. Yeah. I hear you, but I'm still going to do what I want to do.
I know that. I definitely know y'all going to do what you want to do. I'll just let y'all do what you want to do. Mm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So having adult children, what would you say is the fun part or like the surprising part of it?
Ooh, boy. The surprising fun part of having grown kids, mm-hmm. You giving back to me gifts, mm-hmm. Like today, Mother's mm-hmm. Day.
Yes, today is Mother's Day. We're recording on Mother's Day. We're having a little sleepover.
You come in and surprising me with just visiting me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, mm-hmm. And sometimes talking adult talks. Mm-hmm. Although mm-hmm. I'm still trying to get used to it. Mm-hmm. Like she is grown, isn't she?
And is. Pay all my bills.
Yes, you do. Oh, praise God. Whew, hallelujah.
I think that's something I've noticed too. As I'm getting older, it's more like, I don't know, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but it's more like two women seeing each other versus like an adult and a child. Because I'm still your child, but I'm an adult child. Mm-hmm. So it's like you said, we're having now conversations that grown-ups have.
Right.
Versus it being, stay in a child's place, or I'm telling you what to do, or I'm telling you where to go. Mm-hmm. It's more so of like, just keep me in the loop and let's have conversations. Like, it's no longer, what's the word I'm looking for?
I'm the adult. I tell you what to do. Listen up here.
Yeah. It's no longer hand holding. It's guidance, but without having to facilitate it. Mm-hmm. It's guidance where you get to kind of give it and then let me decide which way to go. Right. Versus having to hold my hand and literally push me or point me in the direction of the path, which I hope is a relief as well. I used to tell you this all the time. I remember being home from college and, I had my taste of freedom in college. So I'm ready to run the streets because I'm like, that's what I do when I'm in school. So why I can't do that when I come home?
You're coming to my house.
Right. But you would have it was almost kind of like you were fearful, like, or almost like anxious that something was going to happen. And I always tell you, I'm like, trust the way you raised me. That I'm not about to go out here and act a fool. Trust the way you raised me. Even though right now I'm being rebellious and I'm acting up, I'm getting tatted and pierced. Like, know that I'm never going to put myself in a situation that I can't get out of. Trust the way you raised me. And I think I had to keep reiterating that because it's like, I'm grown. Like, trust the way you raised me.
To me, you weren't grown. You were still my baby.
Okay. Well, then I was, because I ain't have money like that. But and money doesn't make you grow. I think I was still growing. I'm even still growing now.
You were growing.
I was growing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so being an adult,
I was
lots
coming
of
prayer
into it.
And staying up at night, waiting for you to come through the door.
Is that part of having adult children too?
Yeah.
Do you stay up late now, wondering where I'm at?
No, I don't wonder where you're at, because now I, like you said, trust the way I raised you, but I just ask God to protect you and know that God got you in His hand. And I said, "Oh, Father, that's your child. You loaned her to me for a little while, and I did the best I could with her. She's in your hands, and you love her more than I love her."
That's real.
And so, yeah, it's real. God created you, and He loves you more than I love you. So I said, you know the plans you have for her. So, Father, she's yours.
Look out for her. Okay.
So, and he's doing a great job looking out for you. Yeah.
So now, also having adult children means you're not only mom, but you're also grandma. What is that like, being called grandma? Because your 20, 30-year-old self could imagine, like, being somebody grandma?
No.
I'd have been like, don't call me that. I'm not old. Because in my mind, grandma means old. But it doesn't. It doesn't.
It doesn't mean old. It's beautiful just to be a grandma, Yeah. That's such an honor. It's such a privilege that God allowed you to live to be able to be a grandmother. Yeah, because my mom passed when were you planning to graduate?
16.
You were 16, so you had not. I was hoping that she would see one of her grandchild
graduate from
high school, but she didn't get that opportunity. So
because me and Ashley were the oldest.
Yeah, so it's an honor that I'm here to be called a grandma. Yeah.
And see your grandkids graduate from high school, go to college.
Goodness. Can you believe that?
Have jobs, driving, being grown. Now I'm an auntie, and I'm like, why are y'all so big? Like, when they said Amaya's age today at church, I was like, 17?
Yeah.
Where did time go?
Yeah, I'm not getting old. Y'all are getting old. I'm getting mature like fine wine
that you don't drink. No, please.
No, I used to say I'm seasoned and marinated.
Okay, girl. Throw her on the grill.
So you're the one getting old, not me.
Sure.
Yeah.
So are you ready for me to have kids so you can have grandkids? Because you have step grandkids, but they're your bonus grandkids. But are you ready to have biological grandkids?
Me ready? Are you ready?
Not at all.
Okay, so
you see my plants? I'm still trying to raise them.
So I'm not ready.
Okay.
I'm like, when God is ready for you to be married and have kids, if that's in His will for you. Do you want to have kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know me. I want my twins. I want at least 4. I got my names picked out.
You sound like a little girl still dreaming about your Barbie house.
Oh, my goodness.
Marriage.
I'm a dreamer for
kids.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm a dreamer for sure. I'm in fairy tale land. I have the names of my kids. I know what kind of house we're going to have. I know what kind of dogs we're going to have.
Oh, my goodness. You are a dreamer. But whenever you're ready to get married and have kids, I'm not forcing it on you.
Listen.
I see you living your life, young lady.
Yes, we shall see what happens with the Lord says in the next 2 or 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And how old are you now?
How old am I? You were there. 30.
You say 3 more years? Oh, my. Okay.
I'll be 34 in November. Okay. So, if there's someone watching or listening and they're because you've been through a lot of seasons, right? You've been single and childless. You've been married. Then you've been as a single mom. Then you've been a bonus mom and remarried.
Wow.
Now you're a mom of adult children and you're a grandmother. So, all of those seasons, there has to be a listener in each one of those seasons, what's a word of advice or like a word of wisdom or even encouragement you would leave them with?
For all the seasons I've gone through. I would just say each season's comes with different challenges. And each season is fun. You just got to live within that season. Just embrace that season. Don't try to look back or look forward to the next season. Whatever season you're in, just embrace it, because seasons don't last long. Just like spring, summer, fall, winter, they don't last forever. They change. Seasons change. So just live in the seasons you're in, whether you're a single parent, whether you're a bonus parent, just live in that season and find the tools, the resources you need to enjoy that season. Don't try to force the next season or look back on the next season. Just live in the season you're in.
Yeah.
And you will make it through that season, because it doesn't last forever. Look, my single mom for a toddler, a baby, a teenager didn't last. Look at you now, all grown and beautiful and smart.
She's so smart.
Yeah. You're kind. I love you.
I love you too. And you know what? I'm glad that you said that, to like live in this season, because that's a part of what this podcast is all about, is being present, being in the now.
Oh, that's a good word. Be present.
Yeah. Like
in the season you're in.
Exactly. You can look back and take the lessons from the past, and you can have dreams for the future, but don't try to live in those areas, in those times, in those realms. Be present. Be here in this season right now. Because it is going to change, right? Like you just said, I went from infant, toddler, teenager, and now I'm grown. I'm sure time has flown, so be in the now, live in these seasons, and know that they don't last always.
Yeah, get the tools you need for each season too.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Yeah, that's another one.
And y'all have more tools and resources and access doors and portals to tools and resources than ever before. So each season you can find the tools you need. Yeah. So you cannot, I wouldn't say survive, thrive in those seasons. Be the best version of yourself in those seasons. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I like that. Thank you for that advice. I hope y'all took it in. Wrote some notes. And now we're going to go to our next segment, which is gift. If you have, or if you're a friend of the podcast, then you know what gift is. This is our gratitude practice. G stands for gratitude or goal. The I is for intention. The F is for faith or focus. And the T is for take action. And so, you want me to go first?
I can go first.
Okay, go ahead. What's your gift, Mommy?
So my gift, I was
choosing?
Gratitude.
Okay.
So I'm grateful for the gift of motherhood, a birth mom as well as a bonus mom. I've learned, I think God had it in his plans. And I thank him for the gift of that. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your I, intention?
My intention is to continue to evolve in whatever seasons of life I'm in. Learn how to evolve.
Yeah.
Not, grow. Yeah.
What about faith or focus? Which F are you choosing?
Focus. And right now in this season of my life, I'm trying to focus on my health. As you mature, your body changes, menopause.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. I'm doing good right now.
Look at that.
Yeah. I got my estradiol patches on.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm doing good. Girl, you got to talk about it, because my mama didn't talk about it.
Estradiol
patches, honey, that helps. I don't have to put my face in the fridge like my mama did.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so I'm focused on my health, my physical health, of course,
Right.
my emotional health, my spiritual, I said that, financial health. I want to retire in the next 10 years, so
I hope you do.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm making sure that I'm putting all the right tools for retirement, you know. Yeah, consult my financial advisor. Do I have enough money to retire? I probably.
Speaking of emotional health, do you have a therapist?
You know, I don't have one currently. I've gone through therapists though in marriage when we were, as a blended family and as spouses. We go through seasons also as a marriage. So I had a therapist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you said emotional health. So what would that look like?
Oh, I probably need to talk to a therapist.
Or, it could be a therapist. It could be a life coach. I'm an advocate for therapists, but someone
Jesus and therapy, huh?
Yeah, hello. Jesus and therapy. You can talk to both.
Yeah.
Because God created the therapist.
Yeah. I've had the experience of a therapist before. I probably, the one that I spoke to, I probably should have looked for someone else. Yeah. I kind of like a couple of sessions. Yeah.
Sometime. Okay. And then T is take action.
Take action. I need to write down my goals, for this season of life that I'm in. I'm short-term goals, like every month, write down 3 goals, what I want to accomplish. And because they said if you write it down, put it somewhere where you can see it.
Write the vision.
Yeah, be intentional about doing those things. Yeah. If I want to focus on being intentional about my health, walking 30 minutes every day, I need to do it, not talk about it. Yeah. Do it. My financial health.
Well, you have my financial advisor.
Yeah, I do. And thank you for doing that. I'm putting the pieces together, for the next 10 years of retirement.
Good. I'm excited for you to retire.
What am I going to do if I retire?
Take care of my kids. No, I'm playing.
I'm going to travel.
I hope you do.
You can come with me.
Travel, see the world, do something you've always wanted to do, but didn't get to do because you were dedicated to parenting.
Yeah. Well, I'm living.
Y'all living now. You and Dad are grown. Y'all always in somebody camper or traveling somewhere. So y'all living.
Yeah. Enjoying life. Yeah.
Continue to enjoy life. Thank you for your gift.
Yes. Is that it?
So gift GIFT.
Oh my.
Gratitude or goal. So my gratitude.
You made this so easy.
You're welcome.
I was like, what is this gonna be like?
Well, we're not done yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
My gift. So my gratitude is definitely for the village. Like I said earlier, I remember days spending at Nana's and Grandma. I remember catching the bus with Grandma to go to Murray's. Yeah, that one. I don't know if it was an international mart or not, but I just remember I was going there to get Jamaican food. My intention is to be present in this season. I like the advice you gave, is to be present in this season, because I am a dreamer. And sometimes when I dream, I think of also the what ifs and like the worst case scenario, and it kind of makes me a little anxious. And so I need to practice being present and just like having fun in the season that I'm in, because it's not going to last long.
Right.
In a good way and in a bad way, or not so great way. My faith is to trust the path God has for me, because at the same time, the way that I dream and have all these ideas about where I'm going to live and how many kids I'm going to have.
Oh, boy.
The dogs I'm going to have. Like,
I'll be anxious just listening to you.
I need to trust God's plan. and have faith that he knows the desires of my heart, but he also knows what's best for me.
What's best for you? That's
he also
the key.
knows what's best for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then my take action. Take action. I'm gonna just continue to use the resources I have available to me. Like you said, my generation has access to so much.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love a podcast. I love a good YouTube video, a book. Like I remember, I don't know if I told you, I had listened to Kevin and Melissa Frederick's, Kevin on Stage online, probably not. Either way, they wrote a book called Marriage Be Hard, and each chapter was about different like experiences of marriage. I'll give you the book to read.
Don't be afraid to tap into my generation, because we have some wisdom too.
I tap into y'all too.
Yeah.
I tap into y'all too. I think for you though is when I start to come and tap into you for advice or wisdom or just to come and talk. You have to look at it as this is another woman coming to me, not this is my child. Like, yes, it's my child, so I'm going to have the heart of compassion and want what's best for her. But also, I'm not going to try to tell her what to do. I'm going to give her...
I'll work on that.
Guidance. Yeah.
I'll work on that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that is my take action, is to tap into the older generation about just relationships, marriage, motherhood, parenting, life.
We might not have all the answers. We got
expects
some.
You to. Yeah. I don't think anyone expects you to have all the answers.
Yeah.
But clearly you had experiences, so there's wisdom there.
Yeah. What to do, what not to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's my take action. And that is my gift. If you are a listener, you know that you can tap in, do this gratitude practice on your own if you'd like to. There's a pin post on the HereWeAre pod Instagram with a reel that explains each of the parts: gratitude and goal, intention, faith and focus, as well as take action. So share your gift. The last segment is our favorite segment, Tunes ATM. This is the time of the podcast where we get to share what we're vibing out to. Do you know what a vibe is?
Explain what a vibe is.
A vibe is like the energy that you feel. Like, energy. You know how some people are like, oh, they have good vibes. Yeah. Like they have good energy. I can tell, like they got a good intentions.
Uh-huh.
Right? Their aura.
Yes.
A lot of different words for it. But good vibes or vibe tunes is about what you've really been feeling. What's the music that's been giving you a certain type of energy? And so when I think about, because you know me, I love music. When I think about
Where
music,
did you get that from? Because I don't know.
Maybe this is just what makes me unique.
Yeah, because I like music, but not the way you like. Yeah, you're all into the music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whoa.
In all different types.
Get in your car, leave my music. I can't turn the channel.
Because you want to listen to, I don't know, we want to listen to talk radio or AM channels. It's just
AM? I don't know about that.
Either way, if you are listening, the playlist is on YouTube, Apple Music, and Spotify. I tell you all the time, it is eclectic. So you're going to find some gospel. You're going to find some trap. You're going to find a little bit of soul. You're going to find some Christian soul. You might even find a little twerking on there. Do you know what twerking is?
I've heard of it, seen it.
It has African roots.
Oh, is that what twerking is?
It has African. You didn't know it has African roots? Have you not seen like tribal dances?
Yeah, tribal dances.
They're moving their bodies. They shaking their butt.
I don't know. The twerking I'm thinking about is, the back part jiggling.
The back part jiggling.
Not the real tribal dance.
Yes, it's evolved. It's evolved a little bit.
That's what twerking is now. The tribal dance.
Oh, it has roots in it. I'll send you a YouTube video about it. Okay. But I know your song's not a twerking song. What's your vibe tune right now?
It's not a twerking song. It's not a twerking song.
Is it?
No.
Okay. I'm about to say, don't surprise me
now. Lately, when I get up in the morning to get me going and positive, it's Surely Goodness, Surely Mercy by the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir featuring Shane.
Shane. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Surely Goodness. I love it.
Psalm 23.
Psalm 23. Surely goodness, surely mercy. That's the name of the song. Beautiful song that gets me positive going in the morning. Yeah, when I get up.
Well, we have that in common. I like to listen to music in the morning.
Yeah, I know you're not a talker in the morning.
But I'm about to say, I'm also not a morning person.
No, you're not.
Please do not talk to me.
I was like, oh my.
Especially if I have to get into talking to people all day. Yeah. I almost take a vow of silence.
I know. I noticed it. That's something I learned about you as an adult. I'm like, she really isn't a morning person. Okay.
I'm becoming one, but okay.
It's okay.
So I can get that from you. I like to listen to music or podcasts. Like just listen to something that has nothing to do with work, but also can kind of like help me set the tone for the day. So it sounds like this song sets the tone for you. Psalm 23, surely goodness, surely mercy.
Sometimes I'm laying in the bed and I'll just play it. Alexa.
Look at you with technology.
Play this song.
Okay. Well, my vibe tune of the moment is called Praise Jah in the Moonlight. And it's by YG Marley, who is actually Lauryn Hill and Rohan Marley's son. So Bob Marley's grandson.
Oh, we were talking about that. We were watching a movie yesterday when us girls got together. We were watching, what is the Bob Marley movie?
One Love.
One Love. Yeah, we're like, we're talking about his sons that married, have a child with Lauryn Hill. Yeah.
Rohan. So I like that song though, because it's basically talking about how you're going to go through seasons of your life or times in your life where things are tough. You may feel alone, but God is always still there, you know? And, like in Rastafari, they call God Jah, but they're basically saying like, you can still praise him even when it's dark, even when things are not going the way that you expected them to, even when you feel alone, you still have someone there. You have a friend, you have God, you have the ability to make it through. And so I like that song a lot. It's a good vibe. But that is my vibe tune today.
Okay, and so it's on the playlist.
It'll be on the playlist.
Okay, so I can listen to that
too.
Yeah,
I'll send it to you on YouTube.
Yeah,
on the YouTube. Okay, how you feel? You did your first podcast with me. Would you come back?
Yes,
you would.
Yeah,
what would you talk about?
You make it easy.
What would you talk about?
Whatever.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, you can always come back and tell your story. And you all know.
Thank you, daughter.
Thank you, mommy.
Wow.
Y'all, she is in awe. But I appreciate you all for listening and being so nice to the first time podcast. Yes.
On Mother's Day. How did this happen?
Mother's Day.
Wow. How did this happen? Because you've asked before, and it so happened that I'm here with you on Mother's Day.
God planned it. God's plan. Have you heard that song by Drake? I'll send you that one too.
I don't be listening to all this.
I know. Yeah, I'm okay.
Lord help us. Bless her, Lord.
Let's connect, y'all. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, the Here We Are Pod or Here We Are Podcast with Teka. Make sure that if you would like to share your story, maybe you and your mom have some things that you would like to share, or maybe you as a mom in whatever season you're in have a story that you would like to share, email us at theherewearepod@gmail.com. Remember that your story can inspire and encourage someone else. Thank you all for listening.
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day month. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month. Happy Nurse Appreciation Month, week, day. My mom's a nurse for over 35 years.
What are you telling my age?
Okay. Happy Teacher Appreciation Week or Month. Happy Lupus Awareness Month. It's a lot going on in May.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But just happy you. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. Bye.
Bye-bye.